Morning, friends. I hope you're off and running and having a super Saturday. This is a video I had intended to do yesterday. Thought I was going to put it off for another week. Not happening. God sent me another memo this morning. My calendar says, "We all survive more than we think we can." It's a quote by Joan Didion. I have a birthday coming up this week. This is my breast cancer diagnosis. I'm a lot more appreciative of birthdays. Wanted to talk a little bit today about knowing what is normal for you, because knowing what is normal for you could possibly save your life. What does a pea, an orange, and this piece of paper have in common with knowing what is normal for you? Good morning, Sarah. If I hadn't known what was normal for me 8.5 years ago, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. There's no family history of breast cancer in my family. My mom was the first woman in her family to ever receive a breast cancer diagnosis. My dad had 2 sisters who had been diagnosed. But it wasn't something that was literally handed down generation to generation. These were the only instances that I'm aware of that were common in my family at that time. Knowing what is normal for me, knowing what is normal for you. I have a speech that I gave a few years ago in Toastmasters, and I will be sharing more of this with a friend in a couple of weeks on a class that she's teaching on a Saturday. Shout out to Melisha. Looking forward to seeing you and your friends on Saturday a couple of weeks from now. Called the 4 M's of early detection. First M is I am responsible for knowing what is normal for me. Self-exams are crucial. That's number 2. The lump that I found in my breast was half the size of a pea. In order for a cancerous lump to appear on a mammogram, it has to be at least 1 centimeter. This one lump that I found turned out to be one of 7. It was the only one that showed up on a mammogram. My oncology surgeon said she could have easily dismissed it as just a speck on the x-ray, but she decided to research it further. I'm thankful that she did. I immediately took action as soon as I found the lump. Was it normal for me? I didn't even feel it. I saw it in my bathroom mirror when I stepped out of the shower, and immediately knew, morning, Shelley. Immediately I knew something wasn't right. I knew that this was cancer from that moment. I had also not been in to have a mammogram for 4.5 years because my previous OBGYN had retired. There was someone that I had in mind that I was going to see if I ever needed to. It took me a day and a half before I made the phone call to that doctor's office. And I immediately asked, is Dr. Alton taking on any new patients? The receptionist said, no, not until January. I told her, said, let me explain my situation. I was on hold for 10 minutes. She got back to me. He saw me 1 week later. I was triple booked on a Friday afternoon, his last patient of the day. Quick action saved my life. So know what is normal for you. Dr. Alton told me that day that I always tell my girls who are in their 20s to do their self-exams. Not because they'll find cancer, but because they will learn what is normal for them. So if something does show up that isn't normal for them, they will be ready to take action and have the highest chance of long-term survival. Sonogram is the second M, or third, depending on where you're at this point. Sonogram is the same thing as ultrasound. It uses sound waves to create images. No radiation. At the time, I was a 38 double D, 40 inches on top. I always had dense breasts. And every time I had a mammogram, I always needed an ultrasound assist to confirm or deny if I indeed had cancer. For those women who were younger, they tend to have dense breasts. Can you see the whiteout speck on this white piece of paper? This is what cancer looks like in dense breasts. It cannot be seen because of the dense breast tissue. Very small speck. That's why an ultrasound is always necessary, more often than not, especially for younger women who may find lumps that aren't normal for them. Are mammograms effective? Mammograms use X-rays. X-rays use radiation. Radiation causes cancer. I am convinced more than ever that mammograms probably contribute more to breast cancer cases than most people are aware of. Just putting that out there. It's not a popular opinion. I have several friends who are breast cancer survivors whose lives were saved by having mammograms. But this is just my opinion, not a political ad. It's just my opinion that radiation causes cancer and mammograms are not the best way to go for early detection. Self-exams, ultrasounds or sonograms, definitely. And another option is thermograms. I'm going to give another shout out to Christy Gardner. She and I have been very close the last couple of days. Thank you for your blog post on infinite self-worth. If you haven't checked out Christy's post, it's in my feed, or you can go check out Christy Gardner's page yourself. Her husband was the first one that I know of that she had mentioned to me several years ago that had a blog post up about thermograms. Stan is a doctor. He's a chiropractor by profession, but he had written this wonderful article about thermograms. Uses infrared imaging and can possibly detect changes in a person's body 10 years before even the smallest cancer cell can actually be felt or appear on a mammogram and ultrasound. Once again, I'm going to go back and say, know what is normal for you, and remember always that I am responsible for knowing what is normal for me. The cancer that I found, only a 2% chance that it was cancer. It was a mobile lump. I did research to find out if mobile lumps were cancerous. Nowhere could I find any information that mobile lumps were cancerous. But Dr. Alton was the one who told me that 2% chance of that being cancer, 100% correct. I was also reading this book at the time, Waking Up, Fighting Back by Roberta Altman. She also had a mobile lump that turned out to be cancer. She was in her 30s when she found it. For the research, she wound up having bilateral mastectomy as well. Check out the book if you haven't already, Waking Up, Fighting Back by Roberta Altman. Know what is normal for you. It's how most of us who are long-term survivors, beyond the 5-year mark is considered long-term survivor, by the way. You will increase your odds, long-term survival, and being around for many years to come to enjoy your family members, the people you love, and hopefully doing the things that you enjoy doing. Birthdays are special for all of us, but every day is a day for celebration when you're still alive to enjoy doing the things you enjoy doing. We're going to end with this quote by Harold B. Lee. All of us are going to pass through trials. No one's exempt. He says, if you could look into the heavens and see who you really are, you would be overwhelmed with your capabilities, your talents, your spiritual qualities, and the vision of what you are able to become. If we knew who we really are, we would feel different about ourselves. We would be excited and enthusiastic about this life with its burdens and frustrations. All of us have those burdens and frustrations. All of those burdens and frustrations do serve a purpose, if nothing else, to help us appreciate this life and our lives a whole lot more, and to share our stories with people who are on a similar journey. Make it a super Saturday, friends. I'm going to go out and enjoy the sunshine. The temperature is now above freezing in Cleveland. It's time to get out of here. Have a great day.